Hi everyone watching, my name's Chris. I'm one of the youth theatre practitioners at Freedom Studios. I'm a spoken word artist and a theatre artist, and Freedom Studios have asked me if I would put together a few videos on writing spoken word. So that's what I'm going to do. Spoken word could be called poetry, it might be prose. Ultimately, it's anything that you write that is designed to be performed, to be read out loud. So I'm going to guide you through some exercises. I'm going to do them as well at the same time, and we're gonna make a piece. Now, for this, we set the theme of freedom. Freedom because we are all on lockdown at the moment and we've lost a lot of our freedom. And freedom because Freedom Studios, and it's an inspiring topic. It's a really interesting topic to write about. Freedom means lots of different things to different people, and for everybody it's slightly different. That kind of brings me to a key point of spoken word that I'll drop in before we do the first task, which is that spoken word is unique to you. It's unique to your voice. It's about what you want to say and how you feel natural saying it. It's the messages that come from within you. And everybody has a slightly different voice. Some people are really big and theatrical and dramatic. Some people are much quieter and more emotional or sensitive. Some people are funny, some people are very serious and political. All of us can go between all of those different things depending on what mood we're in when we write and what's on our mind. So there's no wrong way to do spoken word as such. But what I'll do is guide you through a few tasks in this first video to create loads of ideas. And then in the second and third videos, we'll start bringing them down, and I'll start getting you to write them into a piece that you can perform. So we come to task one, and like I said, I'm going to do this task as well. I'll put my version up so that you can see it after I've done it. But task one, what I would like to ask you to do is to grab a piece of paper, and in the middle of that piece of paper, you're just going to write the word freedom, and then you're going to create a word map, basically. So anything that freedom makes you think of, even if it seems completely weird and ridiculous and unrelated, you're just going to write them all down and create this giant word map. And you might jump off from some of them into other words and other ideas and phrases, and there is no wrong answer. You can write whatever you like. So if you want to pause the video now and do that task, and then once you're ready, hit play again and I'll show you mine. Now you should have your word map. I'm going to pop mine up on screen now so that you can have a look at what came out of my brain, if you can read my horrendous handwriting. So things that came out for me, just things that jump out now that are really interesting to me. Running kept coming up for me, and being outside and feeling wind in your hair, even though it's a little bit cheesy, kept coming back out for me. Things about not telling myself what to do and nobody telling you what to do, something about that control there kept coming back for me. And with that, kind of ideas of self-kindness and a bit of well-being and mental health seemed to jump out for me. Big horizons, which I really like as a phrase, and I think because it's physical and you can look into the distance, but also it's about your horizons in life and the things that you're looking for or trying to get towards. Traveling kept coming out, and then a few other things like breathing, adventure, flights, which again is an interesting one. So we've got our word map, and that's designed just to take the theme and kind of start associating on that and see what comes out. What else does freedom make you think of? Now we're going to go on to a second task, which will hopefully get a load of thoughts out of your brain without thinking too much about it. So task number 2, and again, you can't get this wrong. There's no way to do this wrong. What I want you to do this time is to take a piece of paper or if you'd rather, you can write on your laptop, and you're going to write freedom at the top. And this time we're going to do a free write. So a free write is where you keep writing and writing and writing. You set yourself a timer and just keep writing and try not to stop until the timer goes off, even if you're repeating the same words or the things that are coming out of your brain feel completely silly and ridiculous. Doesn't matter. It's designed to get your brains cooking up and go in and get some ideas down onto the paper that we'll have a look at. So again, I'm going to do this at the same time as you. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, which I find is a good time for a free write. You can do longer if you like, but 5 is plenty. And I will see you once I've done it. Pause now. Now, once you've done your free write, what I'd like you to do is just have a read through it, similar to what we did with the ideas a minute ago, and just see if anything jumps out. See if there's any phrases that you like, any words that you like, any images that you really like, and just underline them or circle them or highlight them, just to kind of get them there. So for mine, I'll pop it up now on screen. I've underlined a few bits that I liked. The word nothing kept coming back. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Which repetition is always a nice thing to do in a piece of spoken word, because it makes people listen to you repeat a word, and then maybe you want to change the word afterwards with a snap and surprise your audience. I leap over them and fly on their backs to the sky, which I didn't even realise until I just read that has a rhyme in it, which is always a nice bonus in spoken word. I think of rhymes as bonus points. So if you get them, brilliant. If you get into a really regular rhyming scheme and you're rhyming again and again and again, brilliant. If you write a piece with no rhymes, brilliant. So it's also a really quite freeing image, I think, is that one. Deep down, doom buried, which I liked the way that those first 3 words are repeating the d sounds at the start of each word. It's another technique that's good to think about while you're writing, is the sound of the words and the way that you're reading them, but also whether there's a repeated sound or a similar sound. I had don't need to speak because everything is felt in this love. And I think that's a really emotional phrase that I really like, and it makes me think of my friends. Excuse me. And I like it when a piece of spoken word is really, the word I suppose is evocative, which is a fancy way of saying it makes you feel something. And I think good spoken word most of the time, well, if not all of the time, makes you feel something. Musty, mouldy kitchen supplies. Again, I just liked the repeated sounds. I like the image of that. It's quite a horrible image of a messy house that you want to get out of, which is, I think, again, is people might relate to in an audience. The horizons are moving back with every little tiny second. Now, that's a good example of something that came out of my brain that I'm like, I don't really like calling them every little tiny second. But that's okay, because this is just a warm-up exercise, and I'm just trying to grab things that I might use later. Hold the sound of the waves in our chests, and the smell of the ocean infects our brains. Now, I really liked that had come out of it, because you can't do those things; they're impossible. You can hold the sound of the waves, but not in your chests. And the smell of the ocean infecting your brain, it kind of makes sense, but it's also a really kind of visual, taking the ocean and the freedom of that and going, right, how does that affect my body? And it almost falls into metaphor, which we'll actually move on to next. So, task number 3, this is the last task for this video. And again, we're just generating ideas, getting ourselves warmed up, starting to talk about some techniques that we might want to use later. On another piece of paper or a notebook, I want you to write the word freedom is, or the 2 words freedom is, down the side 4 times, and then at the bottom to write without freedom. Now this is designed to get us into the first big technique that we might want to use, which is metaphor. And if you don't know what a metaphor is, essentially it's the comparing something to something by saying it is something that it's not. Might say that again because that felt like a lot of words. Comparing something to something by saying it is something. So by saying freedom is, I want you to try and challenge yourself to think of as many different things that you could compare freedom to, or the feeling of freedom, or anything about freedom. I'll do it as well, and I'll come back with my examples in a moment, and then we'll just wrap up this video. Lovely. Now, you should be able to see my freedom ises on the screen at the moment. Again, if you can't read them, I'll read them aloud. Freedom is a field of wildflowers, grass and sunshine. And I think that for me is possibly because I was looking out the window at the sunshine, but also it's something about being outside and that feeling of freedom out there. Freedom is the sunset taking over the sky. And I think that for me has come from memories of holidays and being away and watching the sun go down at the end of the day. Freedom opens the curtains with one swift pull and reveals the beautiful day. Now, this one, as I've strayed away from metaphor a bit, I've cheated the system a little bit, which is fine. And actually, it's kind of fallen into a bit of personification, which is another lovely technique to use in spoken word, which is where you take something and give it qualities, abilities that it doesn't normally have, so human abilities. So freedom is a bit of a wibbly wobbly concept, but freedom can't open curtains, but it's quite nice to compare it by saying it can, and it's almost an extension of that lovely metaphor that we're starting to play with. Again, I kept cheating, I'm sorry. Freedom can fly on wings, and then I don't know why, I think I just realised that wings was a really good word to rhyme with, so I kept playing with that. Make resonant notes when it sings, everything freedom brings is welcome. And I like to, when I feel a little bit of poem, a little bit of spoken word falling out, I like to follow that no matter where I am in writing, because it might be useful later. It might be that I put it in the bin. Who knows? And then the last one, my without freedom. Without freedom, life would be a trap dragging us deep underground, which brings me back to my deep doom buried from earlier. So, in this first video, what we've started to do is create loads of ideas, get your brains warmed up, get them onto a piece of paper or a screen, and just explore freedom in a big, open way. And what we'll do in video 2 and 3 is start taking those ideas, bringing them in, finding the bits that we really like, and start writing as well, so that you can create a piece that you can perform and hopefully feel really proud of. So I will see you all in video 2. I'm going to go and sit in the sun for a bit. Bye!